Hey everyone, it's John Villarreal again, and I'm here with Christene Tornello, the Regional Service Director for the Qvale Auto Group. Christene, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me, John.
I'm excited. Okay, so a lot of people maybe they don't understand about service, but almost everybody deals with service. Give me some insight about the customer experience and what we're doing at the Qvale Auto Group to introduce transparency and technology to the service experience.
Sure. We've all been to the car dealership before. In the past, it's always been, is what they're telling me truthful? Is it accurate? How do I know? So we took that out of the equation, and we do what's called transparency service. And we show the client videos of their car. It's a personalized video that the technician that is assigned to your vehicle is working on. They show all your brake measurements, your tire tread, the condition of all these components in your vehicle. They show the undercarriage, things you would never normally see. Even when the car is in perfect shape, we still send you that video so you see, hey, great job on your vehicle. We kind of give you an idea of what's going to be expected in the future, so you can budget yourself for it as well. It's just full transparency for the client, so they know exactly what that they're getting themselves into with us.
Yeah, that's huge. If I go to the service department, I don't know what they're doing in normal, not a Qvale dealership, but what they're doing, what needs to be done. I can't diagnose it myself. I mean, it used to be back in a while ago that maybe some people would change their own oil, and I'm sure there's people out there that can do all these things. But now the technology in the system is so advanced, and maybe the battery's stuck underneath somewhere. It really takes a high degree of skill and a lot of tools and expertise to be able to work on these vehicles. So having that video, having that transparency, having that communication between the person who's actually going to do the work on my vehicle and the customer, I think is very powerful.
I fully agree. It's a relationship that we want to build. I love when a customer comes in, a return customer, and says, I want Matt working on my car. I only have this technician work on my car. And we eat it up. The technicians wear their heart on their sleeves, so do our service consultants, so do our parts consultants. We love long-term relationships. And this is just the next level to prove that we truly care about our long-term relationships with our clients. And again, with our digital process, when we send you the estimate of what the vehicle needs, you're able to defer service, you can approve service, and all that goes into a little glove box that's solely yours. And you can refer back to it anytime you like to see, what were we recommending last time I was in? You can pay your bill online. We made it as seamless as possible for your service experience with any of our dealerships.
So the customer has that information on their end.
Correct.
That's really interesting because a lot of times, again, I've owned cars for a while. You'd stick something in there in the glove compartment, maybe it gets lost, maybe it doesn't. I don't remember, who did I see, or maybe I went to 2 or 3 different places. So I think that's very, very powerful. How long have you been implementing this new process?
Well, we really fine-tuned it last year, in 2021. Myself and another associate, Drew Benson,
Yes.
have worked very, very hard, along with many other people.
Yes.
I don't want to
Leave anyone out.
Leave anyone out.
Right.
There's a big list of people that all work very, very hard, and we're always tweaking it. We're always finding ways to still improve it. So by no means are we perfect, but I can say with confidence that our process is strong.
Yes.
And we're able to do more with less people.
Right. Yeah, and so that's exactly where I was going with this. What have you seen out there? What has been the response on the customer side in terms of the surveys, the CSI, but also just those anecdotal points of interaction with customers, but also what have you seen on the business side? What kind of lift have you seen on the business side?
Sure. Well, obviously the lift financially, we've increased substantially year over year, and we really haven't. The wheel has already been invented. We're just kind of
refining it.
We're refining it, but we're putting high-speed tires on it, so we can go faster and run more efficiently and smoothly. So it's increased our revenue, it's increased our customer retention, our customer loyalty, because they do appreciate the honesty and the transparency to actually see their car. and see it at an angle that they would not typically be able to see, at their home or their place of business. So to get that, it just shows, a camaraderie between the client and the dealership.
I think that's amazing. And I think if I'm right, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, the idea, and you see this with technology in a lot of industries, right? With the technology is we implement technology that allows, and you've alluded to it, that allows one person to do the job of 2 or 3 other people that used to be there. There's a lift in revenue and profitability for the business, but there's also a potential cost savings or at least an efficiency or no additional cost that's passed on to the consumer.
Correct. Yeah. So I'm able to take a service consultant and make them more efficient and proficient and productive by giving them these tools so they can take on more clientele, but not skimp out on the customer service side of it, not skimp out on the communication side of it. We're not going to give up that for more business. I want to harness all of that and give the customer the best experience possible. And the biggest thing of that, in my personal and professional opinion, is communication.
Yes.
And we have a texting tool, we have, the phone if you like that, email, whatever the case may be. We have a BDC center that, just the phone all the time. We get busy, sometimes busy rules our day, but we have a system that it lets the client know that they've not been forgotten, because it's the worst feeling in the world. The
biggest complaint that I see from customers, just sitting on the sales side, right, or the management side, is from my little exposure, I don't even know enough to be haters on the service side, right? But the biggest complaint that I see is I can't get a hold of anyone in service, right? And so that communication, knowing that we're texting them, we're gonna send them a video, they're gonna know what's going on. That's, I think, very powerful.
Absolutely. I mean, it just shows that we do care. Their time is extremely valuable, and we respect that and we appreciate that. So technology, I fought it for many years because I thought, doing it the way that I did it when I first got in the industry years ago was the only way. And I finally I've evolved,
Hey,
I've evolved.
We're all improving, we're all learning.
Yes, and the amount of work that I can get done just with the reporting systems that we have is just insane. And, I talk with my peers on, what all we're accomplishing with our group versus their group. And do you have an assistant? No, I don't have an assistant. I'm getting it all done because I'm using the tools that we have in place. Same thing for a service consultant, same thing for a technician, parts consultant, anybody in our industry, or anybody in our audit group has access to this.
Disrupting ourselves, improving ourselves, getting to that next level, always being on the cutting edge. So how, and you've obviously mentioned it a little bit right there, how different is this of a business practice and the customer experience of our group, the Qvale Auto Group, versus other auto groups in the nation?
Well, I've worked for some really top-notch auto groups in my career.
Sure.
And a lot of them, you see the ones that are progressive, they're starting to follow our lead and reach out to us and going, hey, what's your secret? What are you guys doing? What program are you using? And it's very flattering. I'm not too proud to where I won't share the wealth of information.
Sure.
Because at the end of the day, we're all here to take care of the client.
Right.
So,
I'm sorry, as the industry does better and customers have a better experience, I think that does well for everybody.
Absolutely. I look at other Audi dealers as they're not my competition, they're my neighbor. We're all in it together. I'm all about having good camaraderie and being professional to one another. So it's gotten me pretty far in my life, and I continue to keep doing it that way.
Absolutely.
That's my business model.
I love it. And so as a customer, when I come into a Qvale auto dealership, whether it's Alfa Romeo, Maserati St. Pete, right? Or Brandon VW Brandon VW, or Audi Lakeland, what is that experience like? What can I expect as a service customer?
Identical process.
Yes.
Well, no matter what, you'll just see a different face, different cars around you, but the process is exactly the same. So even for an associate, if I needed one of my managers to cover for another manager, the only thing different is the brand.
Yeah.
Everything else is exactly the same. The process is 100% the same. And our process is comparing financial information from, previous to what we're doing now. We've run so much leaner and more efficient.
So I make a service appointment, I call up, and what happens? What happens as soon as I know that I need to come in for service? Like, what's that customer journey?
So if you're going to call in and make an appointment, that's perfectly fine. We do have a BDC system, or you can even talk to a service consultant as well. Sometimes they're a little bit harder to get a hold of than the BDC, but we have them in place. We schedule the appointment on what's convenient versus our shop capacity. The client comes in. They also get as soon as the appointment is made, they get a confirmation text and or email, and from there they can modify their appointment if they're plates or whatever.
I drive in, and then the service supervisor has an iPad?
An iPad, correct. So they basically do everything. You don't even have to enter the dealership if you don't want to.
Wow.
So even if you're getting a loaner vehicle, everything is done through an iPad. So you can, what's called a VCI, vehicle check-in. We do a walk around with the client. And as soon as we're done taking that video, that initial video, we send it directly to the client as a link. So it shows, hey, this is what your car looked like. We're gonna make sure it's
Very, very important. A lot of times people maybe because often, and I hope I don't misspeak, we will wash a car if it comes into service.
Yes.
So I know sometimes I haven't always been the most diligent about washing my car, and if you haven't washed it for a couple months, maybe you didn't see this or that or whatever.
Right.
So now that I have this, we have this video that we've all seen at the same time, I have more confidence as a customer knowing this service department took care of my vehicle.
Yes. It shows accountability as well, that
we care.
We 100%. I think that's what kind of gets us through the day, is that we care. And it's nice to have people. That's the one thing you can't train somebody to do, is care.
Absolutely.
And I say we have a really phenomenal staff that truly does care.
I agree.
And I said, to kind of repeat what I said before, technicians wear their heart on their sleeve. My service advisors are second to none. They take things to heart because they care about the experience, and it's refreshing because it's not, you don't have that, unfortunately, in a lot of places, whether it's automotive or any other industry.
Yeah, absolutely. So then we do the video, we do the check-in. They're either go ahead.
Yeah, so we can actually even generate the repair order from the iPad. So even though we use a DMS system, they communicate with our CRM tool, and we can generate the repair order right from there. We can grab digital signatures from the customer. We can show them, maintenance packages right there on the iPad, and then we can even write up a loaner agreement right there on the iPad. So the customer, like I said, never even has to go inside.
It's awesome. And then you get the videos and you get the text and everything. I tell my wife, I want to get back into, at some point, venture capital and tech, but it's like I'm working for a tech company.
Pretty much, yeah.
And automotive, and I love cars, so that's kind of nice to bring it all together. And of course, we love the Qvale group and what it's all about, in my opinion. Now, in wrapping up, where you're at right now, where the company's at, in my opinion, is very exciting.
I agree, yes.
Where is it going? What's the next step? What do you foresee coming down the road that's going to be the next iteration, the next generation of the service experience?
God, I wish I had a crystal ball for that. I'd be a billionaire and I wouldn't be sitting here.
Fair enough.
I don't have an answer to that because it's
do you think this is sticky for a while, or do you think it's continuing to move?
It's going to continue to move because, like I mentioned previously, other groups are reaching out to us wanting to know what our secrets are.
Right.
Again, and we're transparent with them too, and we
Right.
explain it to them because I may be able to give them our process, but you still have to have the right people to implement it and keep it going. So that's key to keeping it successful. You gotta have the right people. And as my operations director would say, get your people better or find better people. That's for you, PJ. But as far as where it's going, I don't know, but it's exciting.
Does electric change it? Because now that's a different service component.
It is, and it's changed the industry, and it's going to continue to change the industry. And it's kind of cool to see all these manufacturers jumping on that bandwagon. We have to.
Yeah, right.
But as far as a technical and business side of it, we've had to, we're sending our technicians to all this insane training.
Big
it's
time.
just, it's amazing what they have to know how to do.
Yeah.
And it's very costly to every dealership that has to do it.
Yeah.
But that's going to be the way of the future.
Well, Christene, this has been a fascinating conversation. I really appreciate it. Christene Tornello, Regional Service Director for the Qvale Auto Group. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and a like. I'd really appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and turn on the notification button. For Christene Tornello, I'm John D. Villarreal. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Oh, and check out all the very important disclaimers in the video description below on YouTube.